this, since you are a defense attorney, how vital is the presumption of innocence to our criminal justice system?
So it should be very vital, but I feel like it's non-existent. Let me give you an example. I had a bond reduction hearing. The only thing we're supposed to talk about is if the judge will reduce this client's bond. That is it. We're not talking about the facts. We're not talking about anything. And the DA is like, well, when she held him at gunpoint and when she did that, I'm like, whoa, what happened to the presumption of innocence? We're not even talking about the facts right now. This is one salient issue, lower her bond, and that doesn't exist. In my experience, it hasn't existed, but I think it's very important to maintain fairness. But I just don't see it happening.
Gotcha. You got Coach Johnson.
So, and that's talking about fairness for the trial. So prior to the trial happening, there was an article in the New York Times that said that Derek Chauvin was ready to plead guilty to third-degree murder to take a plea deal. Also, too, there's the announcement of the $27 million that George Floyd's family got in a settlement from the city, and the trial is being held in Minneapolis with all this stuff going on. So do you think with all those factors that he's being given a fair trial right now?
You slick devil, you, ooh, Christy.
I think he's getting a fair trial. I think the trial is beyond fair.
Got you. If you were defending him, would you try to get the trial outside of Minneapolis, or would you be like, no, we can have it here, we can make this thing happen?
See, I don't know. I don't know the dynamic of Minneapolis because, like, for me, I'm Black, right? So when I go on Instagram or I'm listening, all of my worldview is like Black people or that from that perspective. But I don't know if the makeup of Minneapolis is like pro George Floyd. So I don't know if it would be to his detriment to move it out of Minneapolis or to keep it there.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
I think it's getting a fair trial. I mean, I know a lot of attorneys like to do those motions to transfer because it's a lot of press and a lot of negativity like in the city, but it being in Minneapolis might be working in his favor.
Gotcha.
So still talking about whether it's a fair trial. So as of recently, Daunte Wright obviously being killed by the hands of a police officer on Sunday. Today in the courtroom, the defense attorney for Derek Chauvin, Eric Nelson, he tried to bring it up again to be like, well, not necessarily moving the trial, but bringing about what is that term? Voir dire. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but yeah, basically from the standpoint of like how we was talking a couple episodes back, within the $27 million settlement, they had to go back, ask the jurors, hey, are you going to be able to be impartial and fair? Are you going to be able to be impartial and fair? Yeah, I gave the boy the bag. I think y'all did it. Y'all gonna have to let me up off this jury stand. So that Eric Nelson, the defense attorney for Derek Chauvin, with this trial, with what just happened to Daunte Wright, that may cause up hysteria again with the media going on and like our jury being exposed to that. Can we go about re-interviewing everybody on the jury to see if they will be able to judge impartial and fair, whatever? And the judge is just like, hell no, because we already like 20-some days into this trial. I'm trying to get it over with. So we're not going to try to restructure the jury, but what I will do for you is come Monday after the prosecution, after George Floyd's people are done doing their interviews and bringing people on the stand, the judge ruled that the jury would then go into a sequestering, which basically, you know, keeping them secluded from being, you know, open to the media and what's going on in Minneapolis. Again, with Daunte Wright just being killed, with what they said, like not too far from either the courthouse or from George Floyd had got killed at. So, so with that, do you still feel like, you know, it's being fair, or do you feel like that could possibly, you know, play in the jury's mind again? Like, yeesh, I don't know.
What do you guys know about the jurors? Because I think in terms of Derek Chauvin's attorney, that was a smart move for him to attempt. I feel like if I was Derek Chauvin's attorney, I probably would have did the same thing, because the media does play a role. I mean, we're humans. You know, you can be impartial all day, but if you hear something on the news, it's going to affect you.
Right.
But at the same time, is that really going to change if they move it to another location? With social media as big as it is it really going to make that much of a difference?
Probably not.